Thank you, friends. Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Did you light a candle on Holocaust Remembrance Day? If not, you still can. It's a day to commemorate the liberation of death camps, to honor the victims of Nazi genocide. It's not that long ago. We should so easily forget. What about the genocide now? It's become open season on Jews the world over since before October 7th, 2023, but that event was the spark to the flame. It's no longer by the traditional Nazi, which has simply become a word or a term we call anyone we don't like, but just as sick, mindless, twisted. The world made a sacred promise. Our shared responsibility as a world was to ensure never again. Where are the shouts? I see only anti-Israel protesting and shouts. And if you missed it, the Encyclopedia Britannica has now rebranded Israel as Palestine in its children's edition. And you start with the children. And yet, all the people I speak with, Jewish or otherwise, are disgusted, revolted, angry about the situation and that it continues. For every Jew who thinks about taking the mezuzah off their door, and there are plenty, there is a non-Jew who wants to put one up in solidarity. Thank you. But the Holocaust wasn't the only Jewish genocide or attempted one, or enslavement or abuse. From the desires of the Persian Prime Minister Haman for the eradication of all Jews, commemorated with Purim, the reading of the Book of Esther, to the exile from every country, from every home, to the horrible Russian pogroms, obviously still going on, to the refusal of the U.S. to allow Jewish refugees into America as they fled Nazi persecution. These days anybody else can get in. Lost in so much of the bluster is the fact that finally Gaza is hostage-free for the first time since 2014, as the last body of a hostage was recovered. It was not handed over as had been promised. It had to be recovered. Finally, there is closure for that last family, thank God. And I'm not sure if you saw it, but there was a fantastic article in the Jerusalem Post the other day titled, "Denmark Refuses to Consider Its Own Two-State Solution, Yet Preaches One for Israel." It's an article well worth reading. It's not just about Denmark, but it's about the countries demanding a two-state solution who refuse to provide one at home. Denmark and Greenland, whose population the Danes abused for years, saw Denmark come out and they simply said, oops, what's past is past. Sorry. They're not interested in recognizing Greenland's claim for independence, which had been asserted years ago. Now, the article also mentioned the UK. It was a possible three-state solution with England, Scotland, and Wales. Let's not talk about that. There's also Belgium and Flanders, and of course the Spanish crushing and imprisonment of the Catalonians who declared independence and have been crushed ever since. Oh, the woman party line's the nosiest thing. Picks up her receiver when she knows it's my ring. Why don't you mind your own business? Mind your own business. Well, if you mind your business, then you won't be minding mine. How about it, Canada, France, Britain? Mind your own business. And also, did you see the news the other day of the film of the car that kept ramming the main Chabad synagogue in Brooklyn? But the Jew-hating maniac said his car had mechanical issues. I guess it was like that Stephen King novel, Christine, but the car with a mind of its own. I guess it was the car that was the anti-Semite. Put itself in drive, reverse, all by itself. Of course, in this new Jew-hating environment and the largest Jewish community outside of Israel with its own anti-Semitic mayor, this is one of many such public displays of hatred, and I'm sure the New York District Attorney will fail to prosecute. Fortunately, this person can be charged with federal offenses. We have to start stopping these senseless attacks before someone is killed. Not much said about Bondi Beach in Australia, is there? And coming up is the annual Rodent Appreciation Day, as Groundhog Day is celebrated. It's a great movie, which had a fantastic message. Nothing to do with Groundhog Day, of course. There's been a ton of snow and cold, so let's hope for the prediction of early spring. And of course, the PETA people, well, they want to see the groundhog freed, like the slaves of Egypt, and let AI or a computer make the prediction. Somehow it's not going to be the same. Don't forget, my friends, there's only a few weeks till the Year of the Horse on February 17th, as we welcome the next of a series of New Years that ushers in the spring. New Years are automatic times to review yourself, to reset. The world needs a great reset. Let's take the time to welcome all to a community seeking peace and acceptance, not hatred and war. A like-minded group. As we observe as a community, collective consciousness of seekers showing faith. Any and all faith. Love any and all love. We are a true chavura of fellowship. So we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together, we are individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her their own way. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody in. Physically, digitally, psychically, spiritually, emotionally, any way at all, to come gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Ahim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Ahim Gam Yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community, so let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. We all believe in something. It's a part of your intention, your kavanah that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you control, of what you can correct. It is your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives, my friends. And it's goodwill, energy, light. We send to help heal whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. Floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everyone you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It is for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. The tikkun olam. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup and a part of the healing of the world. So when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. It is the prayer for the sick, but it's a prayer for anybody. Let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers always for those in need of assistance. We pray for those who need prayer. We don't have to know them. We want health, recovery, good life for everyone around us and for those close to us. For Fairy Godmother, always there to help others while sacrificing herself. For the coffee guy, trying to fix something from the past. For both Dr. Leos and their fantastic reminders of what makes us happy. For Pablito and the Kabbalists. For Corey and the family. For Gabe. For Traveling Carson, who escaped the storm. For MW. For Snoopy, the North Pole elf. For Ruth and Roberta. For Shelley and Winston and Inura. For Alana, I hope to see her soon. For John and Fern. For Maria and John. For Doria and Gloria. For Connie. For Ronnie. For Tally. For Mayan. For Nina and her twin, and for Danny, for Dale and Stephen, for all those suffering and in need. And let's not forget to include the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everybody you know in need, and for the whole world, and for Devorah. We pray for those who need prayer. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, love we all send out. Circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care. Because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat, Avoteinu, Makor ha-bracha. Limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Berach, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, because we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Misha Berach, may He who blessed, because all healing's a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing energy and renewal in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, we saw an event occur last week that was unprecedented in history and may never be seen again. The people were freed. What you have to realize is, this was not a one-shot deal. This is an always issue. Freedom is a right. We witnessed the festival that ushered in this freedom, the one we recreate every year and have for the last 3,500 years. Take it to heart. Make it have the same meaning in your life. Celebrate freedom, not theirs, but yours. We saw its positioning in the year. It takes place at the very beginning of the year in Aries, which represents new beginnings. This was the new beginning. They ceased to be a group of people with a slave mentality and were being forged into nationhood. A nation built on freedom and equality. And what is more renewing than freedom? Even through a cloud's white curtain in a far-off corner flashed, and the hypnotic splattered mist was slowly lifting. Electric lights struck like arrows fired, but for the ones condemned to drift, or else be kept from drifting. Told for the searching ones on the speechless seeking trail, for the lonesome-hearted lovers with too personal a tale, and for each unharmed, gentle soul misplaced inside a jail, gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing. Fight for your freedom and hold on to it. Now, you remember I spoke about 3 phases of Exodus being akin to an introduction, a climax, and finale. And we saw the introduction over the last 2 weeks. This week we have what many consider the climax, the splitting of the Red Sea, which marked a never-going-back moment. So we read, beshalach, when He let go. Who's the He? Was it Pharaoh or was it God? You may not have an answer with this reading. And in this parsha, as in so many others, we've got a lot going on. We encounter the pillars of cloud and fire, the crossing of the Red Sea, the drowning of the Egyptian army, the songs of Moses and Miriam, the bittersweet water that's made sweet, bread from heaven, water from the rock. And the actual Exodus begins. The people leave. We're introduced to the pillars of cloud and fire, which will take on such a crucial role during the entire journey. The first of bookend deaths occur. The attitude of the populace becomes self-evident. This is the story of the journey, the one you are still on. Exodus 31:17. And it was when Pharaoh let the people go that God did not lead them by way of the Philistines' land. The Passover ritual was observed. Execution of the firstborn was done. God released Pharaoh's will so that he would let the people go. Notice had been given. The world knew who God was, what He could do. His objectives had been met. Perhaps all the things on his vision board were coming to fruition. But here is this group that had been subjugated for 430 years and were completely provided for. Given their food, their water, their lodging, they knew nothing of independence, of freedom, of initiative. They would have to learn. What they ultimately learned has been passed down to each of you, so that, my friends, no dream is too big, no challenge too great. Nothing we want for our future is beyond our reach. They've been slaves for generations. If not physically, certainly mentally. Decision-making, willpower, responsibility, it's not been a part of their lives. One does not acquire responsibility instantly when one becomes free. A group of wanderers doesn't suddenly become a nation with laws, religious practice, rituals, ethics. These things have to be forged over time. Facing opponents and having to take arms and fight would terrify these people who've never had to fight anything in their lives. Their natural reaction would be to turn and flee. The Red Sea situation changed everything. It was different. With the Egyptian army behind them and an open sea in front of them, they don't have to make a decision, exert willpower, to take responsibility. They have no choice. They have to go forward. They needed to be turned into a nation. But how? No one knew yet. But it could not be with the nation in the desert. It would take a new generation who did not have a slave mentality to forge nationhood. This is the great climax. Is there any image more burned in your mind than in the Ten Commandments with the splitting of the Red Sea? Thank you, Cecil B. DeMille. Exodus 14:10. And the children of Israel raised their eyes. Here was Egypt coming after them. They were afraid. The children of Israel cried out to the Lord, and they said to Moses, was it because of an absence of graves in Egypt that you took us to die in the wilderness? What is this that you've done to us to bring us out of Egypt? The people, in their complaint to Moses, are starting to show who they really are. And this is just a sign of what's to come. They are fear personified. They ask whether they'd have been better off in Egypt. No work, no effort. But that would interfere with God's plan. Exodus 14:7. And here I'm strengthening Egypt's heart, and I'll come after them, and I'll be glorified against Pharaoh. The people cower in fear as God attains his glory. Fear. We wear it as a badge, the true gift of Jacob and his sons. It is the great thief of life, my friends. It is built into the DNA of this nation and into all of us, so that we need to be reminded annually that we are free and that we can have freedom. Now, this is just a quick insight into what we will be seeing from these people. Exodus 14:21. And Moses reached his hand out over the sea, and the Lord drove back the sea with a strong east wind all night, and turned the sea into dry ground, and the sea was split. And the children of Israel came through the sea on the dry ground, and the water was a wall to them at their right and at their left. Now, what a scene that was. What a trip that was. From when you left, there was something special. Exodus 13:21. And the Lord was going in front of them by day in a column of cloud to show them the way, and by night in a column of fire to shed light for them, so as to go by day and by night. Fire and cloud. The Bible and rabbinic literature are full of stories of clouds. They hide God from man. They act as his chariot. They accompany the ark. They rested over the tabernacle. They were associated with wisdom, and we all seek wisdom. And we find it all around, and we often find it in song. Bows and flows of angel hair, and ice cream castles in the air, feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way. Now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. This cloud is in no one's way. This cloud was the guide to guide them for the next 40 years. People are going to be taken to where there is no turning back, and God will again strengthen Pharaoh's heart to have him go after the people, because that suits God's will. Exodus 14:3. And Pharaoh will say about the children of Israel, They've muddled in the land. The wilderness has closed them in, and I'll strengthen Pharaoh's heart. He'll pursue them, and I'll be glorified against Pharaoh and against all of his army in Egypt. Will know I am he who causes being. And the Lord strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. He pursued the children of Israel. No one has a choice. Pharaoh has no choice. The people have no choice. Their backs to the wall. See, on one side, an enemy army on the other. Oops. There was nowhere to go but forward. When our backs are to the wall, we take a stand. We decide, stay and fight, perish, move forward. We have and we do, often quaking in fear, but we go forward. We survive and we thrive. These people had everything during their period of captivity, and now they will have everything handed to them by God. The whole description of the food from God, the manna from heaven, it's like reading Who's on First by Abbott and Costello. As you read this, you notice there's almost something very pagan taking place. Elements are playing a role that's not found in Judaism, but which the people would be extremely familiar with. So we have cloud, wisdom. We have the new calling card of the God of Exodus, fire. Powerful, explosive, creative, and destructive. We were introduced to this new branding with the burning bush, and we're going to see its true power at the epiphany of the Decalogue on the Sinai Desert. If your memory serves you well, we're going to meet again. Wait. Gonna unpack all my things and sit before it gets too late. No man alive will come to you with another tale to tell. And you know that we shall meet again if your memory serves you well. Wheels on fire, rolling down the road. Let's notify my next of kin. This wheel shall explode. This is the beginning of a 40-year continuous miracle. Never before or since that we're aware of has man been the recipient of that kind of exposure to God or the benefit of that level of intimacy. This generation will be known as the wilderness generation, a unique group in history who had the pleasure of God's company for 40 years. Daily exposure, pure knowledge of the deity through fire, through cloud, through the gift of food. The Bible and rabbinic literature are full of stories of clouds. They hide God from man, they act as his chariot, they accompany the ark, they rested over the tabernacle. They were associated with wisdom. We all seek wisdom. The cloud becomes a travel guide. When it's settled, they rest. When lifted, they move. The conception of the Lord in Exodus, God becomes known to the masses. God's existence and power are a matter of knowledge, not belief. When you've seen 10 plagues and a sea split and have a column of cloud and fire visible at all times, you do not ask, do you believe in God? You see, as a term like that is used in the Hebrew Bible, it doesn't mean belief in, like it does to us, but belief that. That is, it means that if God says he will do something, you can trust that he will do it. Most of us do not think that way anymore or have that level of faith. I only know a couple of people who do. The Josephs of the world do. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the life of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, all who live in the light and continue to shine, and continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace, for freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together, we celebrate with each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, healing to all who need it. Please do. Learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life, Tell those you love that you love them. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe. Remember, we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect. Everything's linked. You always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, to any person you've wronged. But ask forgiveness. And always do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, the world, just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being. Keep sharing. Keep shining. Keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill, my friends. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart. Quiet your mind. Because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. And be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief, what they mean to you and you alone. And never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. Because we share together, we learn together, we help each other. Because we are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives. So find them. Tell them what they mean. These people literally saw God or experienced a miracle every day for 40 years. Most people the world over would be happy with one day, 1 hour, even 1 minute. This is about miracles. The miracles of our lives. We don't recognize the myriad of miracles that still go on in our lives. Take a minute. Think of them. Write them down. Look at them. Honor them. Look up in the sky, my friends. Every cloud you see is actually a messenger from God. Have my love. Fits you like a glove. Share my highs, but the times that it hurts pay no mind. Pieces you don't heed are mine. See you there on Cloud 9. And I'll see you all on Cloud 9. Thank you for joining me, my friends. Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.